So today I'm excited to be having a conversation with Exit Momentum founder and head coach Cullen Talley and the newest certified business coach at Exit Momentum, Julie Couret. Julie comes to Exit Momentum with an amazing resume. She started working with the Disney organization in 1999 as transportation and operations manager. It's a role that put her dead center in the middle of 9/11. She went on to become an organizational leadership and corporate trainer at Disney and was part of the elite Disney Traditions team. She also led Disney's Gulf South recruiting team in the wake of Hurricane Katrina. Departing from Disney, Julie became a certified coach. She served as president of the Louisiana Association of Colleges and Employers and taught in the College of Business with Tulane School of Continuing Studies. She also served the local community as president of the Greater New Orleans Executive Association. Today, based on her straightforward and practical training style, Julie is a sought-after national speaker, and she's also been elected to the International Executive Association. One of my favorite parts is Julie's personal motto, hustle doesn't sleep. I love that. So with that, I want to welcome you, Julie, to Exit Momentum, and we'll dive right in. Cullen, I want to start with you today. Talk a little bit about how the two of you got connected, and what about Julie's experience and her approach made you think she might be a right fit for the organization?
Yeah, great, John. Thanks so much. Thanks for that intro. So Julie and I share a common client. So I was called in to help work with a leadership team that she was already working with the CEO and a CEO peer group, and was also doing some executive, which is really her highest level, executive level coaching she does one-on-one with some of the other members of the leadership team. And she just really reached out to say, hey, I'd like to connect so we know each other. It wasn't some turf battle, which, was the first indication, because some people get really interesting in these situations, and just want to make sure we were in sync, right? So that we did great work for the client, which said to me, just in that initial question, why I was impressed by her and why I felt like she would potentially be a good fit for what we're doing. And so we connected, we talked about a strategy for the client that was best to serve them. And then we were kind of off to the races unexpectedly in a neat way. So that's how it all started.
How about from your side, Julie? What attracted you back to Exit Momentum?
Well, Cullen and I connected to just brainstorm, make sure that we were rowing in the same direction with a particular client. And as he's talking, I'm suddenly asking questions more about his work and what he does. And tell me about the problems you solve again. And how do you do it? And at the end, I'm asking, can we have a follow-up call? Because this is very intriguing, the work that you're doing. You're solving problems that I then don't have to come in from the back end to solve, because you're getting ahead of them from the get-go. And we hit it off immensely. And our mutual client, I reached out to him and I said, I really like Cullen and I think I might want to work with him. And he said, 1,000%. He said, you two are in sync. I'm glad you had that conversation.
Awesome. Talk a little bit about your past experience. We went through your resume a little bit. Talk a little bit about your experience and some of the things you've learned along the way.
I've been very fortunate to work with hundreds of different business leaders. And one of the things that really stands out to me is that leaders really are ready to do the hard work and have the hard conversations and get really uncomfortable if you set them up and give them a structure to do that with an end game, an end goal in mind. If you show them that, look, we can get over here and you don't have to figure this out on your own, that most leaders are really ready and willing. I've also learned that oftentimes when we have conflict in an organization, it's less about personality differences, and it really just is about we don't have the right process down and we don't have the right people in the right places. That if you put people in their zone of genius and you set them up for success with expectations and outcomes and you work with them consistently throughout, then most people really are going to thrive. And that alone eliminates a lot of the issues that keep the owners up at night.
So Cullen, talk a little bit about Julie's experience from your side. Where do you think she's going to add value to Exit Momentum clients?
Yeah, I mean, you obviously went through all the accolades she's got, the recognition she's got. She's probably more qualified to do this than I am. So that's part of it based on how she shows up. But I really would like to take a step back because it's interesting to me. So many of our clients, small to mid-sized businesses, which we love and are passionate about, and obviously she has served, sometimes they disconnect from maybe some of our corporate background. I had some too. I worked with the largest payment processor in the world. After we got acquired, another company I was a part of was another company that we helped build and sell, and we sold to the largest chipset supplier in the world as well. well in terms of Qualcomm at the time. But there are things that can be learned there. And if you think about Julie's background, so she's at Disney, right? She's at Disney and she's working in this area that's transportation. It's the bridge between the guest experience and them being able to get home, get back to the resort. It's a critical part of what's happening. And these are very frontline level workers, right? It isn't as fun as putting on the costume. It isn't as fun as running the ride, but we still have to deliver experience. So you think about how important frontline folks are to our businesses today and how important that is. And so she's got the experience there. Then you think about the recruiting side. So she gets pulled back in from this amazing company that's really obviously known around the world to recruit in a very difficult environment in this area that we're all familiar with in South Louisiana. Post Katrina, there was a lot going on. So how do we do that effectively? How do we do that in a compassionate way, understanding where people are and the stress that they're under, and still be able to do that? But having the ability to recruit in a challenged market, might we be experiencing some of that right now in the current environment we're in today? And then you fast forward to all the executives she's worked with, all the business she's already worked with, to really step into their world, have them see things differently, work with those folks, and deal with the CEO peer group. So she's really guiding groups of CEOs, groups of owners, and how they move forward. So to me, it was the combination of, one, her tenacity in her career, but then also this connection to the frontline worker, this ability to recruit, hire, and onboard people into an organization so that we can continue to deliver. And then also finally, ultimately understanding what it takes at the people level, at the highest levels of these organizations in the small to mid-sized companies over the last decade that she's had so much success in. That was the part to me that said she has the right experience and skills, not to mention her personality and her vibrance and all the things that she is as a crazy New Orleanian, Julie Couret. She will make sure you do not call her Julie, because it's not Julie, even though it's spelled Julie, it is Julie. You better get that right. She brings the juju for Julie. But bottom line, those were the things that we saw. It really was this real set of skills and experience across her career, and then what she's been able to build since.
Oh, thank you.
So Julie, thinking about what Cullen just shared and looking ahead a little bit, where do you think you're going to make the biggest impact for Exit Momentum clients?
I'm very intuitive because of working around not just all the business leaders, but thinking about the hundreds of thousands of people I interacted with when I was at the parks and resorts and the parking lots of Disney Transportation, and the thousands of cast members that we led every day. You get to know a lot about the people dynamics and where they're hesitating, where they're concerned, where you see a great leader in the making, where you see maybe chaos brewing. And the ability to discern that and be able to understand quickly a group of people, closing that gap. So when I go in with a company that I'm not from the outside and this stranger who's taking a year and a half to understand how to connect with them, that I can walk in and very quickly close to understand what's going on, what are the dynamics, and be able to understand all the different key players.
You and I talked a little bit pre-roll about, you just used the term chaos brewing, and we talked a little bit about some of the uncertainty that's in the marketplace right now. And one of the things you brought up is how when you put the right processes in place, you can remove some of that uncertainty. Can you talk about that just a little bit?
It's very similar to building a car, that it doesn't matter if it's raining, if it's snowing, if I'm going uphill, if I have to stop fast, turn on a dime, if there's hail coming. If we're in a properly built cart, we are then ready and able to withstand and manage any of those external elements. And the work that we do here in Exit Momentum inside the organizations is like building a great car. We are set up for success. We can modify, we can turn, we can pivot. We are ready for whatever external elements come. We're still going to be safe and successful.
So Cullen, how does Julie make Exit Momentum stronger?
Well, listen, I am the father of 3 amazing young women. So first off, having a powerful, smart woman on the team matters to me. I mean, it just does, right? I just think it's important that we have that voice in the room for us, right? To see things as a different perspective. It's not about sex, it's more perspective, right? That I think that we need. So I think that, and I think there's some teams that are going to want to have a female presence, a strong guiding female force in their organization, which I think is incredibly important. So that's one thing. That's not the only thing, but I do think it matters. The other thing is, because she's been running these peer groups and having so much conversations with owners and key executives in this organization. She's got a perspective at that very top of the organization that sometimes some of our owners and leaders don't have. And so she's going to be able to bring things out of literally thousands of hours of conversation into that to say, that's not normal, or this is normal, or here's what we've seen before that worked and stuff like that. So she's going to bring so much experience to that from that standpoint as well. So those are the things to me that she brings. She brings tons of energy. She's a lot of fun. And, for us, one of our core values, have fun, right? She's going to have a good time. And so that's the other part to me too. We can't just be all serious, stand at the board. That's just not who we are, right? And there's lots of, great folks in the coaching consulting space, but I don't think they have quite as much fun as we do. Now we get down to business, John, we will get after it. We will have hard conversations. And that's the other thing, quite frankly, I know Julie is capable, right? She and I, just in the beginning of this, some of the things we were working through for, the clients, some of the things we talked about for how to manage this and so forth, we're willing to have difficult conversations. I've already seen her do that, even challenge me at times, right? It's like, hey, have you thought about this way? Should you do it this way? There's things that have gone on just in our quarterly this past week. So she's capable of doing that. And that's a critical skill that our clients need. They need that kind of person in their corner.
Fantastic. So Julie, you talked a little bit as we were going through your initial introduction. There's a lot in there about impact on the community. It's not just impact on the businesses you serve, but you've done a lot of things in the community. Why does that matter to you?
I love being connected with others and coming together for a common cause. And whether that cause is having fun at Mardi Gras, because that's a real serious business, or I like to do a lot of volunteerism, because you know what? I can't go out and fix all the problems of homeless youth in New Orleans. I can't fix that. I cannot cure every child who needs treatment at St. Jude's. But you know what I can do? I can dedicate a night sleeping out for the homeless to raise money for homeless youth. I can't go and bring the creative arts and jazz music and the history of New Orleans to every student, but I can volunteer at the French Quarter Fest and run a booth for the weekend. So I'm able to still contribute, be a part, feel connected. And when I give, I genuinely believe that so much more continues to come back to us.
Awesome. Cullen, as we get ready to wrap up here, anything else you want to add about Julie, about adding her to the team, what this means for Exit Momentum?
Yeah, I would just say this, that we are continuing to look for folks like Julie that have this perspective and this experience and this skill set already baked in. We don't want to be, cookie cutters of Cullen. That doesn't work, right? There needs to be other perspective internally and ways to see things differently. So we're ecstatic she's here. We feel honored that she's decided to join the team and plant our flag in her world and expand what she's offering to the market. And it's going to continue to let us, step into some areas as well, geographically with the relationship she has in the New Orleans area and beyond. So I just couldn't be more excited that, something that started just as an idea for me not that many years ago when I was thinking about what was next and what we're going to do has turned into this, and that we've created something now and that people like Julie who've had significant success want to be a part of this. So it's an honor for us. She will do great work with you. So if you're considering having a business coach and a strategic planner come into your world, you need to invest the time with Julie. It would be the best hour and a half you could possibly imagine with you and your team. So reach out to us and let us know if that's something you'd like to take advantage of.
Aww.
Fantastic.
Cullen, you're the best. Thank you for being a dreamer so we can come along with your dream.
Julie, it's fantastic to meet you today. I appreciate both of you for having this conversation, making the time for this conversation. And I'm excited to see where this goes for you personally and for the team at Exit Momentum. I think this is an awesome addition. So thanks for the time today, you guys.
Oh, fantastic, John. Thanks.